Welcome to the last episode of On the Range, where we've had an entire year of development here, and now we got to put a spotlight on our prize players. Let's see who's going to take home the blue ribbon. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at our first prize player. Here he comes. Here you are, Busio. Right on through. Now, we got an old ranch hand named Covey that comes around sometimes, and he's real obsessed with this guy. You can see he does like himself a big old catfish sometimes, but he's not only a catfish. You know, you can see him on the Yasuo too. He does both. He ain't just the support, even though he's labeled as a support. He can carry himself too. So we already saw Busio. Let's go ahead and look at our next prize player, Jan. Now, he's a little crazy, so make sure you got your harnesses on, your straps ready to go, and whoa! My God, he's already going nuts. I can't even hold my hand on anymore. And he's gonna dab on him too. I could do that. The whippersnapper known as Perry, and he's a scary one on the bear too. We'll see. Wait, he's getting away. I gotta get him. Yeah, let's go, Perry. Slam him. Oh. All right, we got one last player in the running for the blue ribbon here and On the Range, and it's Cloud9 Academy Shade. Now, he is a bit of a young gun, but you find yourself in Shaden's alcove corral, you gotta put him up because he's gonna get you. Now, in terms of our blue ribbon competition, the real winners are you and me, as we got to watch these rambunctious critters develop over an entire year. And it sure has been a fun one. I want to say thank you for watching On the Range, and that'll do, Proving Grounds. That'll do.
And welcome back to the Proving Grounds desk, powered by Verizon. Happy we could get Mazel on the last show for the final episode of On the Range. But game one in the books here for Team Liquid Academy. Really strong showing for the Team Liquid Honda squad. So, Serdy, I want to start right at the draft phase here because you identified right at the beginning an issue that Dignitas Academy might run into.
Yeah, so in my experience playing professionally, the stage games that you play are a lot slower in pace than the scrims. I'm assuming that Dig were having a lot of success with their Kalista pick, which is why they decided to run it, even despite knowing that the enemy could take something that counters dive comps into it and can withstand the dives, because they thought that they just generate leads from individual skill. Although the second that didn't happen, they just began slowly being more and more useless than TL, in comparison.
And we saw them try and go for some of those earlier plays, like Perry on the Poppy going for the mid lane. They got a couple chunks, but they didn't get a big enough lead, right?
Exactly.
They didn't get a massive, here's an injection of gold that we can actually snowball from.
The thing is, they want the Herald and they want the Dragon. If they give one of them, they're in a losing situation towards the team that's scaling. And they ended up trading the Rift Herald for the Hextech Drake, which, as you said to me earlier, actually is lower in gold value, just straight up stat-wise, comparatively, unless they take more than 3 plates with the Herald, which they didn't manage to do. So they actually ended up as a loss in the early game versus TL scaling comp, and then they chased too far into a choke, and the second that happens, there's no coming back.
And giving up the Dragon, when you go for blue and Kalista, too, it's it feels like they should be playing through that bottom side, but instead opting to, play a much slower beginning. Like you said, stage games, they can be much slower than the practice games. But let's look at some maybe stand-up performers. So who was standing out to you from Team Liquid Honda's side is okay, this is the player that really popped off in game one?
Yeah, watching the team fights, Harry had a couple of crazy team fights. One of the red buff where he landed a crucial charm onto Neo. I think he actually predicted his jump on Kalista, actually. Really, really well played. And then Harry landed a couple more game-winning charms, actually, at the line bush in mid lane, where he picks off Neo again and then nets them another Drake. I mean, I think Harry's just been on fire this game. He's been playing super, super well.
And up against Insanity, the player that we were hyping up at the top of the day as, the top performer of Proving Grounds so far. But Harry's got the consistency. That's game one in the book, so while we wait for Pick and Ban for game number 2, we have the benefit of having 2 top laners from Academy with us today. So we're going to put you through the ringer and have you walk us through the top lane matchup. We have some setups over here, so I'll have the 2 of you get up and take your spots right now. And we'll have you walk us through the matchup that we saw in that top lane, because Sejuani versus Gwen has a lot of interesting matchups. But before we do that, you each drew each other your signs. So, Serdy, you're actually in front of Soul's sign. Soul, go over your art style right here, because we had a little arts and crafts time ahead of time. Maybe we can get the camera to look at it, too, the TSM sign.
Yeah, so honestly, I was told to get creative with it, and me being the least creative person that I know just came up with the TSM sign. Sorry to any of the TSM fans watching. I probably butchered this sign.
I'm happy with Serdy. Serdy actually looks like it's got some thickness to it. I can tell the EG. So we'll work on it.
Yeah. It'll take a bit of time. The second TSM sign will come a little
I
bit
mean,
later.
I think we both made mistakes in our design. EG looks like it has a Grand Canyon in between its logo. Like, neither of us.
Hopefully your mechanics in game will make up for it.
Hopefully.
So let's take a look at the matchup here. We'll pull it up. I believe you already have it set up. So I want to start like level 1, right at the very beginning in this matchup. From the Sejuani side, Surdy, what should people be paying attention to from the Sejuani half of this?
Okay, so the main detail to look out for in the first wave for the Sejuani is if she's able to hit the wave first.
Okay.
Gwen typically will start Q into the Sedge because it's how she acquires prio, but to do that, she needs to stack her Qs on the minions. So if the Sedge gets the first auto off, that means Sedge will have her Grasp auto plus Q ready before the Gwen has her fourth auto stacked up for the Q, so she can't trade back effectively, which is what I'm assuming happened between Bradley and Gamsu in order to get the prio.
Let's click play so we can actually see that in action. And now I'm realizing I think I trolled you because I believe Soul's actually the one piloting the Sejuani this time around. So Soul, while we click play here and get into the game, walk me through the Gwen side of it.
Okay, I'm gonna unpause.
Yeah, so basically it's just a race to the wave. Gwen wants to, like Surdy said, be able to stack Q on the wave and be able to trade back because Sejuani's bread and butter for level 1 is to get that Q auto off.
Let's see it.
Yeah, let's get the game going. Essentially, Sejuani wants to go for the Q auto, and Gwen just wants to be able to have her Q stack so she's able to trade back against that level 1. So,
all right, I'm curious to watch this actually in action here. This is, of course, from Soul's perspective. Okay, so when you're looking at this, Surdy, as the Gwen, what are you paying attention to when you see the Sejuani walk up for the first hit on the wave?
I mean, I want to make sure that she can't stack her Grasp for free.
Okay.
Her Q's an extremely long cooldown early, so when he walks up for minions like this, I want to threaten him with my Q, and this also gives me prio.
yeah, he's also queuing the entire wave at the same time, so naturally his wave will push towards mine.
So how would you rate how Bradley handled it then in the 1v1 matchup?
I
when
think
we
it was
saw the
definitely
early
winning for
levels?
Gamsu. I think that he created fake prio, which allowed him to extend the period in which Bradley failed to crash onto him and made his lane phase easier.
Okay, interesting. So I'm seeing already that the Gwen is getting the early prio here. Is this expected in this matchup?
Yes.
Yes, if they're both on the lane at the same time, Gwen should be able to get the priority here.
So how would a jungler look to maybe influence this? Is this an important lane that you would want to put some effort into?
I mean, with Sejuani running Ignite and Bradley not running Cleanse like I am, you have the opportunity of fighting a 2v2 and possibly like snowballing on the Gwen early. If the Sejuani generates any kind of lead, it can be pretty good.
Now, is there any moment that the Sejuani will have an opportunity to actually try and flip the script here? Because it seems like you're getting shoved in. It's looking pretty dire here. But so are you looking for a window?
Normally there would be a bunch of windows with Ignite, but you know, I told Surdy about the cleanse tech earlier. He's been running the cleanse that I've been running, so it's a lot more difficult for the Sejuani because you can actually cleanse her E and her Ignite at the same time.
Ooh.
So a lot of Sejuani's damage is actually mitigated by the cleanse tech here.
Now, a special thing, generally on this wave state, as Gwen, you would be cheater recalling, though because we want to make this 1v1, not draw out too long, I'm actually not allowed to recall without utilizing my Tiki, so I'm trying to save my base timer until later.
Okay. So this is how we're going to play it then. So this is how the early levels go. We'll wait for this wave to crash in. I'm going to have both of you go for backs, teleport back into lane, and then I know everybody's asking for it, so it's going to be a bare knuckle brawl to the death, okay? All right. Oh, they're even trading to get. Wait, is the 1v1 just happening now? Wait, was that a cleanse?
It was.
That was a bit spicy.
It was spicy.
Wow, Surdy's really trying to take full advantage of this right now. All right.
Okay.
You know, how about this? No
wave,
TP's
and then
back.
We'll take our bases.
Oh, you're going to take them? Okay,
Yeah.
all right, all right.
We'll get our items.
All I'm gonna say, CS lead already, 10 minions.
Oh, okay. All right. An average, you know, Gwen player into Sejuani.
You know, I blame
Okay.
the mouse sensitivity for this
All
one.
right, now I want an even fight here, all right? No cheating.
Okay,
Even
I have no
You're,
cleanse.
you're
I
both
feel like
going to teleport into lane. I want both of you to be visible when you appear in lane. So I'll give a 3, 2, 1, and then you can start hitting each other, okay? All right. Let's see. Let's
right,
wait
I
until
see
you're
the
both on
blasting
screen.
one by when I
I'm
have-
seeing it on the,
I do
on
in
the
fact
TV
have
right
a
now.
control word,
3,
so.
2, 1, go. Okay. The scissors coming out. Soul's got the moves.
Okay.
I'm happy this is happening to me before level 6. I feel like the ults would definitely have a big impact in this. Oh, okay, wait a minute. So
I don't have
Surdy's got no
cleanse.
Q now. Oh yeah, I was gonna say the cleanse might be hurting you right now.
The thing is, I can all in him here, but if I do, I die.
Okay. Well, we have maybe about a minute before pick and ban starts. So does that make you more inclined? Okay, wait a minute. Are you actually gonna get it? There's no shot.
Okay,
There's no
there it
shot.
No,
What?
it's too tragic.
GG's.
GG's.
Let's go. Well done, Soul. Well done.
GG's.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Gotta get
There
the
we go.
fist
The
bump in there.
camaraderie.
You do.
Nicely done. So is that
Thank you.
average how Sejuani should just get the solo kill every time, right? That's what I'm taking.
Well, actually, because the 1v1 was actually drawn out a little bit more, and I had the 2 health potions and the
Yep.
biscuit on Surdy, I drew it out a little bit, and then
Sure.
and then I ended up getting the better of him because he was also pressured to hit the wave.
Yeah.
And he came back with the blasting one with,
I mean,
with no
typically
potion.
after third wave, I
Yeah.
did a recall, but because of the recall conditions, it's like bad for me to do that as a
Sure.
result.
Yeah.
Because, well, I'm just not allowed to without
What's your
using ATP.
excuse, real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, my excuse? I have 3 of them, actually.
Oh, these are prepared.
I have 3 excuses.
Let's hear
First
'em.
excuse, mouse sensitivity. He
Yeah.
brought that up in game. Absolutely horrible. Second, new setup. And third,
The lighting, yeah.
it had to be the lighting, yeah.
Yeah.
It was getting in my eyes. It was hard to see, hard to see us.
There's a glare or something. yeah.
exactly.
All right, well, thanks for walking us through that. That was awesome. But we are ready for pick and ban of game number 2. Team Liquid Academy lead the series. Let's send it back over to the casters.
I can't get over it. The light was in my eyes.
Yeah, it's
while
some
playing
cope
game.
right there.
That is
Some
definitely
cope.
some cope. But you know what? We got to move past that, even though it was a fun 1v1 scenario that those two put themselves through. Showed the Sejuani has some power in the lane phase.
True. I mean, it's definitely a champion that has become a lot stronger in recent patches based on the way that the meta has been
Also,
shifting. And as we start looking towards
that he was talking about.
What's that?
He bought 3 extra potions.
That's a lot of extra potions.
Yeah. So he could 1v1.
So you could, I mean, that's kind of cheating. You don't get to do that. And the cleanse too.
Well,
I don't expect Bradley to do that.
I like the cleanse step. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get ready for game 2. It's the grand finals, and Team Liquid Academy, our reigning champions, are up 1-0.
And surprisingly enough, we have no changes in the bans on the side of Dignitas. I know that we were
Or
talking,
Sideswap.
Josh and I. Well, Dignitas did drop that game. Blue side is favored. No
Well,
surprise
yeah,
there.
I'm just saying, it's interesting. It's just interesting to see that. And there we go. That's the adaptation, taking away Wukong.
Okay, so that's a change. A couple things we want to highlight in the bans real quick. Trundle being banned by Dignitas. We expect that to be consistent throughout the entire series, as well as the Aphelios. That is something that has been very favored for Yawn's pool. Yawn in PG, 6-2 in 8 Aphelios games, has been a beast on that. We saw him yesterday as well. But that Wukong being locked in, that is the
Where's
change.
Flowers?
I was like, do we have to get Flowers on the call? No,
No.
we don't.
Oh, wow.
Jan goes for the Kalista side of this matchup instead.
All right, well, it makes a little bit more sense, right? When you do see the Wukong, you
Does it?
aren't going to be... It makes more sense than B1.
Dude, Kalista into Wukong feels terrible, man.
Yeah, I was
It's
about
not
to
as
say,
bad as
I'm
Kalista into
with-
Poppy.
I'm with Cubby on this one.
Close
I
to
don't know.
Poppy is pretty awful,
That's
right?
true.
But it is a situation where it looks like Team Liquid are going to be the ones who might be the beatdown. They might need to be the ones who need to make plays
You
early.
could still pick Poppy and put the Poppy support.
See, I was expecting you to say put the Wukong top. I would have agreed with that one,
Well, you can
but
put the Wukong top too.
this is the classic, right? This is Yan and Ayla. They play this all the time.
Something that Dignitas could do, grab both solo laners and then try and match from there. TLA would only be able to respond to one of them, or they could go for the hard counter in the bot lane as Neo JJ. They see Yawn Ayla slamming a lane that's been so good for them this split. Draven's been a big counter, and Dignitas, oh, they're looking to snowball bot,
And
baby.
it's interesting to see this because this has been one of the most banned champions against Dignitas Academy in the Proving Grounds. The only one that tops that is Kalista that is already on the other side.
But again, this Yawn versus Neo matchup, pretty exciting. Neo and Yawn both having great tournaments. Yawn, someone that we've really pitched as being one of the top marksmen in, in Academy. The other one actually in the audience in Spawn, who did get some LCS time. But Yawn, he has the capabilities to prove himself. Facing down Neo's Draven, that's not an easy task. Tough ask for TLA's bot lane, but if anyone's going to be up to it, it's them.
But what you were calling out earlier in the first game in terms of how the draft was going was the fact that Team Liquid, they saw their nod and they pivoted away from a full dive composition where Dignitas, they got the Wukong, they got the Mumu. They are going, and Team Liquid has some disengaging tools ready to go for it.
They're like, we can dive harder.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
So Silas, that's what's coming out next.
No, that's going to be banned. What do you mean?
Yeah, there's no way Silas is going to be
There's
coming
no
through, right?
way.
It is
Look at
something
that
that has been
side.
too strong all the time, every single patch. It feels like every single mid laner needs to be able to play it. And so, to start looking at the next half of the draft, again, this is going to be an absolute brawl. So many melee champs. Let's see what kind of mages we can get.
I'm curious if we see Dignitas change up their bans. Last time they took away that Fiora plus Aatrox, that Gwen was really tough. And
I love
it might be
that.
Gwen.
I love
Oh
this.
boy, what do we have here?
Perry's the
Just-
best jungler in NA.
Oh, let's go. We got the
I
Perry
love it.
fan club
I love
here.
it.
Oh, wait, there's more!
Oh, there's more.
Parry challenge. Parry challenge.
Love it. Love it.
Is the parry challenge to put your leg behind your head?
Yeah.
Do we have any volunteers in our
I
audience?
can
trying to do
try
that?
again. I tried this once.
Look, when
before,
Perry,
but
if
I
Perry
never
wins
fell.
the whole thing, we'll have him just do it for us,
Okay.
right? That'll
Oh,
be
yeah.
the way that they do the interview. But we already got the bans. Swain taken off the table.
And also that Gwen is denied from Bradley, so no Gwen again. That does leave the Aatrox up in case Dignitas wants to go for a tank top, which it sure looks like they are positioned to
No way.
do.
Okay, that's
All right,
better.
all
I was about to say, no shot. No shot as a Malzahar when Ahri is still open for Hayri.
Yeah, Sons of
6-0
Troll.
now.
You always give me crap about whether or
Hey,
not I'm
hey.
reacting to the hovers. It's
It could have been
Yon.
support. It could have been support Malzahar.
No, it
could have been
couldn't.
jungle Malzahar. It could have been top lane Malzahar. You don't know.
I think I do, but
Silas. Couple good ults with Renata. You can also utilize that Fate's Call creatively to throw a Mumu in the team or Wukong in the team. If you are Insanity, his Silas has been damn good this split too. 4-1 in 5 plays.
Yeah.
And now Bradley, I mean, it is looking like an Aatrox game. Aatrox gets a lots of value.
Aatrox is so good here.
Yeah.
Slam the Aatrox, Bradley. Come
Yeah,
on.
I'm not expecting anything but.
I also don't
Could be,
hate.
yeah, could be
Okay,
Gangplank,
yeah,
but
yeah.
the Aatrox makes way more sense.
Yeah.
Good luck.
He's got 4 melee champions going up against. You just get so much value just standing in the middle of the entire enemy team, and it just is such a great opportunity for Team Liquid to deal with the onslaught coming in from Dignitas, turn it around, and then allow Yon to just pop off.
So I feel like this has some remnants from what we saw last game. Early plays on the side of Dignitas when it comes to like Wukong and Draven especially, but then more scaling on the side of Team Liquid.
little
Outside of the
bit.
bot lane, we don't acknowledge the bot lane.
A little bit more scaling. I think this game is a lot of these two compositions do a lot of the same things. They tend to spike at similar times, and so whoever gets ahead is likely going to smash. No matter what happens, I don't
I gotta
expect
adjust
it to be close.
myself to Cubby because he's giving me all these looks over here. Nobody
He
can
does
see
that.
it, but I can see it.
I'm just buying time.
No.
It's the strat.
Hayri, late game Ahri is insane. We saw that last game, how many charms he landed over and over again.
Yeah, Charm does up here on the desk. I think the big key for TLA, it is full dive versus full dive. There is a Renata for TL and a Silas for Dignitas. Hostile Takeover gets so much value on each side.
Yeah.
Really want to keep our eyes on Ayla if he can utilize his ultimate to counter the dive of Dignitas and which ults Insanity grabs and if he's able to do the same with his Hostile Takeover.
And it will be interesting to see here in Game 2. Do we get a series in the making, or is it going to be a 2-0 right out of the gates for Team Liquid Honda Academy, the reigning Proving Ground champions, taking on a new challenger, but it's a team that has someone they feared ever since the beginning. Gomsu, still in that top lane, still looking to see if they can take it to force against Team Liquid Honda Academy.
It's a little bit wild. What are you doing, Cubby? We'll get back to that. It's a little bit wild as we see all of this coming through, right? Because it does feel so similar across these two teams, right? It might not be champion for champion, but there's, again, so much brawling that's going to be happening. And so it's going to be really difficult for Neo and Yon to live. They have to be very patient in the way that
upset.
they're going to be looking to play.
I'm upset.
Upset? No
shenaniganeries.
shenaniganeries?
No shenaniganeries.
There we go.
Wow. I'm glad that we're up in sync here, Jay.
It's like I'm very complex, and I'm hard to predict.
Well, I mean, you did wear a normal suit today, so that actually did throw us off.
I will say that was on purpose.
All right.
Because I knew you would expect the unexpected, so I had to go with the expected instead.
Ooh, all right. Lots of big opportunities to come through from Alex. But as we start looking at this yet again, the players that I'm going to be looking at, you already called out Ayla and Insanity, the big ultimates there. But also, I want to look at how JJ's engages are going to be going. Now that he's going to be on the Amumu, right? He was playing a much more of a backseat role in Game 1.
I'm actually curious. So something that I think TL does very well and made them such a powerful Kalista team in regular season was how they were able to play for the enemy quadrant of the jungle when they did take Kalista. It's not easy to do against Draven. I was going to set up maybe a Raptor to enemy Raptor start from Armeo, but at the moment it does look like it's going to be a red start for him with the leash. The leashless for the Wukong that will set Armeo a little bit ahead of the clear. See if he is able to take advantage of that. Maybe dive this Draven.
One of the big things that you always like talking about is, Perry's a streamer. We often would host him after all of our Academy regular season or some of the Proving Grounds games. Great stream to go check out, but one of the things he always does is he will go and lamb a lot of his clears. This is probably something that Perry's actually calling for. Like, no, I got this. I know how to do this clear, and I'm going to end up in a weird spot.
Ooh, nice
Oh, that's
bandage
big.
toss right there.
That's
Yon
big.
in a bit of danger. More danger than he really thinks. It's Draven. Draven, what do you think you're doing? You're flashing.
Oh,
into
yeah,
the
roar
wall.
out.
He got the first blood, but gave the adoration to Neo as Armeo. He will Mumu is the first one on the call. He's in this bot lane looking for Neo. Buckler comes at the flash with a heroic charge. The flash away from Neo. He'll barely hold on to his life underneath the turret, as he will be a 1-for-1 exchange.
And that's Neo with first blood because he's got a big smile on his face. It's not like a ton of adoration stacks going over to the Draven, but
True.
first blood being on the marksman means that he's going to be ahead in items. This pick, you need to use it to snowball early. He's walking back to lane with a Vamp Scepter. It's going to be so hard to force him out now.
And we were looking at how JJ was actually going to have some impact on this champion. He was relatively quiet in game 1, but instantly finds that double bandage toss onto Yan. And there's not a lot of marksmen that go forward in that situation, but Yan does, and Neo punishes him for it.
But, I mean, part of the reason he went forward is that Armeo, it was a 2-camp bot. They were trying to get here early. Armeo skipping over his camp to try and affect it. Wasn't able to trade back onto Neo, and he even holds onto his cleanse, so summoner advantage for the Dignitas bot lane, and utilizing that counter pick early. I did see a Vamp Scepter early in the inventory of Neo. He actually reset it and went for the Doran's Blade, so even more of a focus on his laning prowess, really trying to utilize this pick to punish the Kalista.
The other thing that we've got to look at is the fact that there is nothing for Ayla to do with the wave, even with the health advantage as the Renata. The waves are too even. There's a big crash. Neo loses none of the experience, and as everybody backs away, again, one of the things we always look at for Team Liquid is Ayla, after this first back, he's probably going to walk mid and see if he can catch Perry in a gank.
You think so?
He does it almost every single time.
Yeah, but you think they're going to fall for it twice in a row?
Did Perry fall for it last game?
I think Ayla's pulling the Mad Magical, expect the unexpected, walking bot.
I'm pretty sure he did it last game.
Going straight bot, as at the moment, we will see what happens with that top crab. I think Perry did hit recall, does have that Sheen, should be looking to secure that, start his second full clear. Whereas Armeo, a little bit behind in the clear, given that he did skip out on all the camps to try and kill Neo in that bot lane. This does mean that Perry, a little bit of an advantage on the map first, already has that Sheen.
And as he goes going for that reset, remember, this is the kind of thing
Take the
Armeo
Raptors.
is so good at, right? They always look for opportunities to play these characters that can give up a lot of opportunities and be strong later.
Yeah, and look at Perry. Oh, okay, never mind. We're not going for the
He sees
Raptors, we're
lane.
going mid.
Flash away from Harry. At least they get the flash burn, but he is level 5, soon to be level 6.
You can
Still
see
not
there's
going for the Raptors. He's going top lane instead.
Oh. He does spot out Armeo on the Krug, so now it will be a Raptor take from Perry, utilizing the fact he was out on the map first, clearing faster. Really well done by Perry.
One of the things we had an opportunity to do, we talked to former Dignitas Academy bottom laner Spawn between the games, and he was saying that he was expecting JJ and Insanity to start calling for a lot more things, to start bringing Perry towards the lane, to start looking for these opportunities. JJ's already done that. Insanity calls Perry to his lane, and they already get the flash.
Isn't that what we've been seeing, too, from the rest of this tournament, is that call?
Speaking of calls, the call is to go mid at the moment, but JJ is spotted on board.
No.
He is caught
And
out.
toss away. Trying
Nice
to see if he can ditch the other members of
no
Team
flash.
Liquid. No flash, no way out. Charm connects, and he is dead. Back into the grave, Mummy. Even if you got the Raptors there, they will not defend you.
Yeah, the Raptors are not your friend, even though you go for it. I do like the attempt from JJ, but a great read coming out from Team Liquid, and the fact that they chase it, they know where everybody else is. They saw Stylus in the mid lane, they saw Draven still in the bottom lane. There was not enough time for anybody to collapse, and classic Team Liquid.
Then what's classic Dignitas here? Besides Baron.
They are so new, there's no such thing as a classic Dignitas.
They played 10 games.
Yeah? That's not enough time for them to build big classics, but Bradley's still looking for these opportunities in the top lane. I mean, one of the things we were talking about with Dignitas is this roster came together. They played 4 games of the regular season before they were thrown directly into Proving Grounds. The fact that they have gotten all the way to finals is a huge testament to, as we were talking about earlier, the team culture that they have built up. They just very clearly are playing well together.
And a lot of credit for that goes over to Insanity, JJ, the 2 pillars that stayed on this team, even the manager, Toby and Deos. I've never heard a team, rather than the 2 that we have on stage, talk so much about their managers.
Yep.
As, again, does speak to the experience of these players, as currently JJ, that's a bad experience in the bot lane, getting poked out, but Neo.
But it is also Draven.
Yeah, he's going to return the favor. Protected his sport.
Even in kind completely against Neo, and against Yan as well. Neo getting pretty good control back in this lane.
Look at where Perry is currently helping
not
bring
again.
high. Armeo's here first.
Oh, not again. Amumu couldn't do much there.
And you see on his face, JJ just like, oh, not again, man. I went for a play in the mid lane. I went for a play down here in the bottom lane, getting caught yet again.
I consider Amumu kind of like the modern day Nautilus as support. Sometimes you're going to get caught out like that. You're going to die immediately. Other times you're going to have this great bandage toss in where you get the Curse of the Sad Mummy as well. Or you can just rely on your top lane.
Heads up.
That's going to be the World Ender. That's a lot of damage on the Bradley there. It should be a kill for Gamsu.
And there you go, a classic pick coming out from Dignitas as well on the top side.
And, you know, we saw this yesterday, Bradley against C9. He does like to push his limits. Him playing for that crab there, the whole team just showed bot. They made a play on the JJ. He can't go for that. The punish from Perry Gamsu, it's sound. It punishes the weak side of the map, and Bradley, him dying, that's big. Aatrox being set behind. He needs that Gorge Drinker to get going. It will be the Gorge Drinker with him playing into 4 melees. Dignitas buying some time, finding a point of strength on the top side. Whereas TL, they're looking to respond. Rift Herald is about to spawn, and they have the full swap going on.
They have everybody all the way up here, whereas Dignitas are a little bit behind, but they can look to make the same kind of trade that Team Liquid did in Game 1. Team Liquid,
They're too behind, yeah.
can they? They still have the Draven and the Amumu, but it doesn't look like they're going to try and make that play happen. Perry is already in base, still looking to try and come up, and it's going to be a free Rift Herald.
TL did this yesterday against C9. What Yawn and AO are going to do, they're going to crash this wave. They might flip it. If it's no response coming out from Dignitas, they could try and get their bot lane to dance across the map as JJ walking up in the river. It will be 1 plate going over to Neo, but that's a free Rift Herald, and more plates now going over to Yawn and Ayla if Armeo wants to follow and drop Shelly immediately.
Big minion wave stacked up already. Even if Perry is in the vicinity, like you talked about, it's pretty easy for them to take. We'll see what Dignitas do across map. If they try to force this bot lane, try to see if they can shove it in, or they're just going to lose more plates top.
Perry being very patient. There he goes.
Ooh, they got the pull in, but that's Perry on the flank. Gamsu, tanky enough to survive it all.
Barely getting out, and the Whirling Death comes by, not going to find anything. Dignitas were ready for the play, but they weren't able to find anything, and you talked about it before, the flip coming through. This Rift Herald is going to get at least 3 more plates.
No match from Dignitas. They don't have members, so there'll be a
JJ.
TP back from Gamsu, but they're going to go for 1 more plate. Drop Shelly, 4 plates going over to TLA as, another fight. Armeo, he's stuck.
You didn't want to go for this one. Even with the hostile takeover, you had to flash away just to be able to get out of dodge.
Okay.
But the charge coming through should be 4 plates in total, secured by Team Liquid. Dignitas do their best to make sure it doesn't fall completely.
We called it out before, right? The fact that Dignitas not making a counterplay, they were trying to stifle what Team Liquid were doing. But JJ, he didn't go for anything bottom lane. He saw a pair on the top side. Insanity wasn't able to move. They only get 1 plate off the bottom lane turret. And Team Liquid, they get the Rift Herald. They get 3 plates off of it. That's a pretty good lead. They already find themselves up 1,000, well, only up a single kill.
And it's somewhat disastrous from Dignitas. Again, we gave TL so much credit for knowing how to play around their win cons. Also the enemy win cons. Dignitas, they took this Draven Amumu lane to punish the Kalista. JJ is sitting 0-3, that swap from TL. It got them out of that lane phase for a couple minutes and funneled them 4 plates. Neo was only able to get 1 in return. So again, TL being first on the plays for the Rift, setting the tempo of this game. Dignitas, we just haven't seen them be able to respond in kind.
Yeah, but they're not that far behind. Sure, 10 minutes in, about 1,000 gold behind that of Team Liquid Honda. I'm looking to see how they want to set up around this bot lane to make sure Neo is going to get that gold. He has a lot of adoration stacks now, and if he gets this kill, that will be the shifting sands of the bot lane.
Dignitas, they already have Perry down here, potentially setting up for a dragon if they can bait Team Liquid in a fight.
Oh, nice Curse of the Sad Mummy. Neo trying to kite it out, but he's pulled back in and killed by Perry. No adoration stacks collected from Neo, but they've got the pressure from bot.
And just as you requested, Mad Magical, Dignitas JJ, that's a great bandage toss, hiding it in the terrain. No reaction available from TLA. That's going to be kills and the first dragon going over to Dig.
Yeah, Yawn a little bit slow with the cleanse and doesn't use the Fate's Call either. They all just go down instantly. And as you called out, as the first dragon gets picked up, the game remains in the balance. I said I didn't think this game would be close, whoever ends up winning, but it remains in the balance. We're going to have to look at what happens at the next Rift Herald and the next dragon. Those 2 fights, those 2 setups will probably determine who actually takes it.
Now, get a little bit of a reset on the map. No objectives to fight over at the moment. Everyone getting some resets, so let's take a look at this. Like you said, hiding that Q right inside of the terrain.
Yeah, that's really well done. This textbook from JJ. And props to JJ, you know, starting out 0-3, got picked a couple times. Still stepping up, finding plays. He is a playmaker, one of the leaders on this team. Dignitas needed something. Was able to find a bandage toss.
Yeah.
Look, it's a Mumu. You can go 0-10 and still be impactful.
True.
No, that's Yasuo, man.
Also true.
No, that's
you know.
when you get the power spike. I'm talking about being
What,
useful.
10 deaths? Not a lot. 10 vision score? Quite a bit. But the big thing that we're going to look at is, again, crediting Spawn for this, because we talked to him, and he was saying that JJ and Insanity are so good at keeping the comms calm, making sure that everybody's on the same page and that nobody really loses their heads. The fact that they're still looking for these plays while down 0-3 on JJ is always going to be good for the way that they're looking to play the rest of the games. If they get these dives off before Team Liquid can establish battle lines, if they get the dives off without Aatrox and Poppy being there to stop all the dive, it's always going to be easy for them to just run over Kalista.
It's funny. We're looking more at the spot lane and how it's playing, which really does play into the style Dignitas have been successful with in the Proving Ground so far. They have a lot of plates that they've been able to gather for Neo in the past, but it's also a shift away from or focus on Insanity and Perry. Not really seeing them on the map. Oh, Perry on the map, but not tag teaming with Insanity like he has been throughout the tournament.
Will be a crown for Insanity. There is a lack of poke on the side of TL, so that crown value, whenever it pops, will be good for Insanity if he is trying to go in. TP burned to match that mythic from Harry, but seeming like a pretty quiet rift here, so we might have the upcoming dragon. Plates are about to fall.
Yeah. I've actually been kind of shocked at how quiet our early games have been between our two teams, right? They have been some of our most dominant teams early on in the game. Both of them up about 1,000 gold at 15, but Perry...
Ooh, might get
Perry.
your wish.
Oh, he just used
For the
E!
fight, yeah, he just dashed in as well. They've got damage if they want to follow up, and there it is, using the Glacial Prison. Even if you have the Darkened Blade and Gore Drinker to your name, you'll still get smashed by the staff.
Well done by Perry, and Gamsu syncing up again. And I love this with Sejuani. Oftentimes we see Sejuani picked just to be that tank, that meatball later in the game for your marksman, but you can also play through Sejuani to snowball your jungler. That's the second visit that Perry has made to the top side, the second kill they are able to net on Bradley.
Oh, Harry's trying to stop the backs, doesn't quite get them to stick around for too long. But yeah, we have been seeing, again, this is a historical way that Dignitas has had a lot of success up against Team Liquid. Bradley on the weak side oftentimes will overextend, and right there we saw him, he used the dash towards Sejuani right at the beginning of it, and that means he has no way to get out. So many small opportunities that the Dignitas laners are actually calling for, and with such a rookie jungler, he's responding to them fantastically.
Now, Armeo, we've seen a couple plays from you, but we haven't seen it in a little bit. I'm curious to see if this is where we have that mid-jungle duo really try to work well together. Same on the side of Dignitas. They can utilize the power that they're both starting to get as we get later into the game.
Yeah, Armeo looking at Perry. The Rift Herald has been pulled.
Has been, but
Wrong
it looks
monkey?
like... Yeah, wrong monkey. Got baited by the wrong monkey.
Watch out for JJ in this fight.
Ooh,
oh
Perry.
boy, Perry.
Perry, no, wrong monkey this time. That was the
Defensive
right
ball.
monkey, but he's still alive. Armeo slow, and using the stolen Spirit Rush. They get
That's
one.
big.
JJ will trade his life. Gamsu will also a kill for Harry. Turned around by Team Liquid Honda, and Harry, he's not done. He's looking to chase down. Finally, after missing that Spirit Orb, he might have to relent.
And we talked about the hostile takeover against the two dive comps. Ayla, big hostile takeover. That turned the fight around for TLA as they were able to find two members of Dig on the back half.
And we were looking at these fights right around these moments to potentially be game-deciding Dignitas. They have Perry going for this. I don't know if he's healthy enough to try and
No,
take
he's
it.
not. He's got to back out.
Even with the smite, it's not there. Bradley's going to be able to chase him off. That's just up for a potential dragon.
Wrong monkey again.
Well, you know, it was a close monkey, but as we take another look
This
at this,
right
we were
monkey.
talking about the hostile takeover. They find the right monkey, they try and find some space, and with all of them coming through, it's so difficult for Dignitas to try and get to Yon.
And I like the ult from JJ, like, holding the choke, but man, that hostile takeover.
Ooh, early cleanse.
Yeah, so tough to play around and deal with if you are a dive comp like Dignitas is. Ayla, this champion, we have seen him on this stage turn around game 5s in favor for TLA. The last final, we were here. Game 2 of this one, his Renata, the presence already being felt on the Rift. We'll see if he can do it again, because we have another fight emerging. Dragon's
Yes, no ult.
No ult. And inside of this corridor,
let's go.
they look for Harry. Harry taking a lot of damage from Perry, but he's able to dish it right on back with a
Perry!
flash from Perry! Shutting down Harry on the other side. Paige Cole will save the life of Ayla, but that's
that
not going to
goes
be the
wide.
hostile takeover that works out for Insanity.
Ayla's ult is
Still
up.
looking for the fight. They're looking for what they can get.
Ayla has hostile takeover plus flash, but that is a priority member being taken down by Dignitas. So
They punch
Armeo.
away Insanity. They
Look at
could get
JJ.
inside of the pit, but look at Neo. I'm more curious at
Look at
Neo,
JJ.
how he's not afraid because where JJ is positioned.
They're going to be backing in. Team Liquid don't want to fight this, and
don't think they can.
the verdict is gone. Dignitas should be able to get this.
Oh, they don't have smite, so if
Yeah.
Armeo is able to get in the pit, he can easily
He
steal
can't.
it.
They can't. TL, they have to back off. They have to play for lanes as Dignitas. They hold strong and are showing more and more fight in this series.
There we go. That temperance coming through from Dignitas, right? Not overdiving this time. Even with Ayla's ultimate up, they never find an opportunity to do it. But Perry here, man, finding down the Oceanic mid lane. We're spending so much time praising in game 1.
And that's the Wukong special, man. Level 9, Divine Sunder, down 3 levels. That's a solo kill and a shutdown going over to the rookie.
Absolutely crazy. But Team Liquid, this is the other thing, right? We've been talking about how difficult it is for Dignitas to dive into the Renata, but it's also difficult for Team Liquid to dive, right? They don't have a lot of these primary engage tools. They're so reliant on just running it up the pipe and trying to fight Dignitas whenever they try and whenever they want to make something happen, and they just couldn't do that.
Oh. Ooh. Good looks like another pick, but Perry on the hunt. That's going to
Ayla.
be knocked
Oh,
back.
that's a
Sand
TP.
aside. That's going to be the flash
Oh,
in
we're
with the
sending it.
Cyclone as well. Hostile takeover. It connects on a bunch of them, but Armeo, he's still in the middle of the fight. He's
Watch
got the
Bradley.
bailout. He doesn't get bailed out, though. Double kill for Gamsu. Oh,
Bradley.
He might help turn one around, but it will.
Wow.
Be a 2-for-1 advantage to Dignitas.
And Dignitas with the numbers advantage. Again, a good call from Perry going in there. Yes, they eat the hostile takeover, but they had more members. They hold strong. TL were not able to rotate in time, and Dignitas come out on top and take another objective.
We keep looking at Team Liquid and saying we like their composition in this fight, in their ability to play front to back, but they're not taking front to back.
Don't pull me into this.
All right, Magical. The people who do this for a living, right? We look at this and we say it's so difficult for them to get to Yon, but it's so easy when you don't have the front line.
I mean, Perry's fed. He's so far ahead, and now Yon, like when Perry gets on him, Yon can't do anything. Him crossing here, that's dangerous. Perry with the knock-up again, so difficult to play Quista into Wukong. Great Glacial Prison from Gamsu. Make sure that the damage connects onto Yon. He falls. Bradley doesn't want to stick around without his Callista pumping out damage behind him. And that's more kills, more gold going over to Dignitas.
Wow.
I mean, Second Herald, this is a close game.
This is so close.
Keep in mind, I want to turn our attention back to Neo.
Okay.
He still hasn't gotten a kill since that first one at level 1. He's got a lot of adoration
Gamsu?
stacks, and if they can
Gamsu?
give him this kill, that will expand this gold lead in their favor. They got a lot of damage, but they couldn't fully get on top of the members of Team Liquid.
That's what you were talking about last game, right? The ability to just throw out these ultimates from Gamsu
Yeah.
basically on cooldown. It's so short. But as we still look for these opportunities, it is going to be requiring more from Gamsu to spend time. So we can, as you talked about, if they do find an ultimate that sets up for Neo, the adoration stacks can blow this game wide open.
And you can see how that has actually affected TLA, because Bradley, he doesn't have TP, but he's hovering mid at the moment. He was trying to answer that roam from Gamsu, understand the Sejuani at any point. You can look for these optimistic Glacial Prisons given the low cooldown and the power, the ability to lock down enemies. You want Bradley in the side then. You want him isolated against that Sejuani to utilize the power of the Aatrox, keep on getting fed. But he's being forced to hover, protect his team from the onslaught that Dignitas are giving TLA at this point of the game.
So as we start paying attention towards the next dragon, right, we already have 2 going over to Dignitas. Their early game plans that they beat Team Liquid with last time are coming to fruition, but Team Liquid are here first.
Perry's holding on.
Some good discipline.
Stay disciplined. The handshake, and that is a great pick there from Team Liquid Honda to silence Perry.
Give it to Harry, too. They finally punished the rookie. Perry's been so good at finding his way onto all of these other players, but his ultimate will still be up. They will still have all of their players ready for the next fight. JJ's just going.
Goes in. He's got teammates to back him up. It's going to be a 3v3. Not quite the advantage that you would expect for Team Liquid Honda after getting that pick.
They saw Bradley topside without TP, so they knew it was a 4v4. Maybe they were going to be able to find something with Insanity,
look
not
for
only
Yon.
Ace, but
Oh, they might be able to get the damage on Yon. Yon is taken pretty low, but Neo could not change. Even with stand aside, it wasn't enough to keep locked down Yon.
All these abilities are on such low cooldowns. They will be up for the
Yeah.
upcoming fight. And so as we talk about the optimistic looks from Gamsu, again, another improvement from Dignitas over the course of game to game. But Team Liquid, they get all their backs in. They spend all their gold. They are on the map first. And with all the vision that they've set up, this should be Team Liquid's opportunity to take a good fight.
and importantly, all summers are really available for each team besides Insanity's Flash. So each team fighting with a lot of resources here. In my eyes, really go on to Harry, up a level, sitting at 4, 1, and 2 on the Ahri. If he's able to get around the Amumu and the lockdown that Dignitas has, Harry can have a big impact on this fight. And if you are a Dignitas, got to keep your eyes on Perry, who has the goal, but also Neo. The capabilities of cashing out that could be so big for Dignitas and trying to turned this game in their favor.
Double TP mid from Dignitas, looking to take down this turret and getting that gold, the advantages you gain from toppling that tier 1 structure mid.
And this second Herald special, right? You utilize this to get priority over the river, but Harry trying to mark Dignitas off. Keeper's verdict.
Who does it connect on, if anybody? Cancel.
Oh,
that's
it's
right. That's huge. But Perry was able to use
Watch
the wrong
Harry.
monkey to try to get that advantage to get away.
Harry.
As they look for the attention onto Perry. Insanity, he's taking a lot of damage. They got the flashes in with a handshake and hustle takeover onto the monkey, but that Cyclone might just rip him apart.
Harry.
Got the damage.
Harry.
They got the cash in from Neo as they now start ripping down Team Liquid. JG even finds his own first kill in the game as Dignitas will route Team Liquid Honda back to the base and make sure they've got all the gold necessary to win.
And Perry, the rookie, it might have been a split fight. He might have been caught, but guess what? He's able to go in one more time, given the goal that he has. That 5-man second Wukong ultimate turn the fight in favor for Dig, as they're going to put themselves on soul point.
It's so difficult for Team Liquid to walk forward for the exact reason you say. Perry on this Wukong gets a 5-man
There's
knockup.
no smite.
That's a double TP, and yeah, they could steal that away, or can they?
Oh!
Auto attack! Harry was able to steal it away just barely.
What? What is going on? Bradley can hunt now.
He's looking for JJ, but not going to be going in. He knows how dangerous this can be.
It's really risky with everyone showing up. Not going to be able to get the Abscond Abduct to connect, so Bradley will escape, and Team Liquid pull off a miracle, stealing that away.
A potentially game-saving play from Harry,
Oh
right?
my
He's been
goodness.
so strong so far in this series, looking for more opportunities, and Insanity pushed away. He had to flash towards the end of that fight, but look at this. Team Liquid taking control of the top side of the map. They know the play has switched from the bottom side, where Dignitas have all their wards, but now on the top side, Dignitas see nothing.
No, and they're the ones that might get hunted now with Perry.
He's
Trying to
close.
clear out his
That's the
wolves.
monkey.
He's got to be careful. Cyclone burn just to try to get a little bit of distance as he dives back in with Gomsu getting the
Harry?
correctional prison. But Harry, he's alive. He's barely surviving. The hostile takeover stolen away, trying to see if they can get Insanity as he looks to dodge away,
to
but
crowd
that
control.
steadfast presence will make it difficult. Harry, how are you still in this fight, man?
Oh my god, Team Liquid, they punch back. They are first to the play. Nothing from Dignitas is able to come out. And now, with Perry dead, Team Liquid are looking to start the Baron.
And one cooldown. The clone from Wukong was used. That's all TL needed to turn on to Perry. Is now they have the 5v3, they have the Callista, and they want this Baron.
Right now, with Calista on their side, they could get that advantage, the rent
Ooh,
stacks
okay.
that gain, but they're still cautious. They're still worried because I think just a couple seconds ago, they were the ones stealing away a Miracle Dragon.
It's an Amumu ult around the Baron with Neo. Didn't feel like they had the tools to take that. TL showing some discipline as our team's getting a little bit looser on the stage, starting to throw down here.
Yeah, and look at that. Oh, 1 goal, 2 between the two teams at this point. This game is so close. Tails are taking
Oh,
another
pro
pro
view.
view coming out from Harry, stealing
Wow.
it with a Foxfire. Such a tough spot to be coming out with. That normally prioritizes champions, but it will try and last hit things if he's in the right spot. So
He's
Harry,
laughing.
He's laughing.
I would
He
too.
knows he's in such a good spot. But here, as you called out, the clone not up. Harry's stuck.
I don't know what he can do here. And the fact that Perry dies, it eventually leads to Baron. Anything after that is just collateral. Even if they don't end up taking the
the
Baron,
whirling death.
they're just making sure that they can at least deny anything possible from Dignitas.
And Harry's Ahri, 9-0, trying to move to 10-0 this summer. Not to mention Proving Grounds. This is his 7th play on the champion. He is stepping up massive in this Game 3. I know the last final that Harry played in, he felt like Game 5, he was carried by his team, but he's the one doing the carrying now as they're trying to emerge, create this 2-0 lead against Dignitas.
Yeah, we have to remember that Harry and Ayla have been playing together for a long time. They played together on Order, the organization of their coach, Spawn, before both of them came together. And the story that we heard from Spawn was just saying he was looking at all the North American talent. He just looked at all of them and said, I think Harry's better. We just gotta bring him over, and he's consistently been winning lanes. He's up 60 CS at this point in the game.
Against Insanity as well. One of our players that we were just talking about being our most valuable prospect of Proving Grounds. This guy has been outperforming everybody in mid lane throughout the entirety of the tournament, but Harry on Ahri has been just slamming back.
We have another dragon fight. Keep in mind, Neo in that last fight, he was able to get those adoration stacks cashed in. He has an LDR to his name.
Okay.
As Insanity might not
The
have
charm. He stole the Spirit Rush away. Might have one charge left. Abscond. You didn't want that one to connect. You wanted to get out of there. Now he's going to die. Or is he? He's got the burn there. He had the last charge.
The heal.
He's under the turret. The heal from the Kingslayer is not enough.
No
He's
way.
out. Insanity, how are you alive?
No
then?
way.
And he's still kicking. Oh my God. Finally,
rest of
someone
Dig. Look at the
kills
rest of
him.
Dig.
Look at the rest of Dig. Like you were just saying.
Oh, it's a
they're
TP
on
out.
flank. You got a flank. You got everybody. But you're ditching your team there, Harry. You're letting them get chased down. There's Armeo picked off on the other side. Even he's trying to pull off his own miracle
Armeo?
to get away.
No
Hey, we have everybody just escaping left, right, and center.
And a turret goes down in favor of Team Liquid at the same time. Absolute craziness erupting in the Rift. Insanity surviving for so long. He gets so many extra cooldowns. A flash from Armeo's down now. We saw Ayla have to use the heal as well. And as we start looking towards this next dragon, Armeo with no flash doesn't have the same kind of protective power for Jan.
There's some yakety sax moments there.
Yeah, it is.
Armeo was able to get out of that one. Holy cow. As that's big. That keeps Smite on the map for TL. Now off the reset, they are here first. Look at Neo, still has to take the gate out of
Bradley
base.
TPing.
TP coming in from Bradley to get in position. TL needs this dragon to prevent Soul Point from going over to Dignitas. They are in position first. Let's keep our eyes on Bradley at this point. I think he's big against the melees with Ayla. It has to be a sound counter engage from TL if they want to topple Dignitas in this fight.
Ayla controlling the major choke point already. Harry and Armeo
JJ,
right over the
though.
wall.
Look at JJ. He's going for the long flank. He's waiting, thinking that
Not
he's going to do
spotted.
this dance for quite some time.
not spotted.
He's not spotted at all. And no dragon has been started just yet.
See him
Look for
now.
the whirling death to chip at the members of
Not
Team
quite.
Liquid Honda.
They will not see him until he crosses the stone. So this line, if he... Once he crosses
That's a work
there,
like
that's when
Rom.
they'll see it. Nope, they don't see him. Oh, okay, he's able to sneak in. All right, never mind. We're dumb drawn. Dignitas!
Keeper's verdict.
Stolen away. Ooh, does not connect out of
No ult now.
Insanity. Could be Armeo trying
at
to
Perry.
do the same thing, but Perry, he's on the flank. There's going to be the
Now he's
keeper's
marked.
verdict from Armeo to punt away somebody, but it does not connect
JJ.
either. JJ, he ate the charm. Bradley dives in. Yeti slam dunk. He's done for so long, and he's burning now. Burning,
Perry,
burning.
Perry,
Down too.
Perry.
Oh, Harry, can he get in there? Can they do anything?
Perry.
Perry can. Perry, the rookie, stepping up big for Dignitas Academy.
The mid-jungle duo is still alive. These guys carried game one. Can Harry and Armeo find another way in? Perry's had so many good engages, but they gotta get this dragon.
I didn't see how Jan went down there. He has both sums up. Neo, that big front line, being so hectic in favor. Dignitas was able to survive, but Armeo does have Smite trying to get in.
Yeah, this might be another Smite fight there, but this time
Okay.
it goes Perry's way. He has to sacrifice a board to do so.
We're back to House of the Dragons, you know? Game of Thrones.
Oh, Harry!
But he guessed it. He guessed it.
Oh,
You know, he gets
he
KO.
guessed it all.
Oh
The
my
shut
God, Harry.
down Harry. He's like, no way in hell am I losing this game. I'm on Ari, baby. I'm here to
Oh
win.
my God.
Harry Kang does not lose Ari games. You called it magical. You have the late game charms coming off from Team Liquid. You have the late game charms from Harry. And now, with the play that the mid laner makes, they're ready to go for Baron. 9, 1, and 6 on this Ari.
Harry Poggers has come to play, baby, as at the start of the fight, it's so good for Dig. Again, the hectic team fights in the choke. It's a massive hostile takeover, but the cleanse from Neo does get him out. Perry, then the knockups. It is a great setup for Dig. They're able to trade. They find Jan. Neo's alive, but Harry Armeo, the mid-jungle duo of TL, they just come up huge in the back half.
I was ready to talk all about Dignitas after this fight, right? The way that Perry finds another angle, the way that JJ survives after the flank. But again, it feels like it always comes down to this. There's always somebody on Team Liquid who's able to step up because he used the fight so early on. The cooldown is still there, and he catches the 80 carry. He doesn't get the wrong monkey.
Needle. Thread the needle.
Oh,
it was the
my
wrong
goodness.
monkey or Neo, and he got Neo.
Harry has come to play. Harry has come to reclaim that title. And Harry is the big difference maker. Hey, we're hyping up Insanity, and rightfully so, coming into this one. He was really what got Dignitas to the finals early. And Insanity, I mean, he's had some decent moments in this game, but Harry, his ability to step up when it matters most, that was grim for the side of TL. Now,
Verdict.
it's all TL. Oh,
Gonna
there's
punt
one.
one away. But should just be the turret falling. It's not really an easy one for Dignitas to try to see if they can defend. Giving it up is okay.
They're doing a good job of pushing multiple lanes, right? You see the wave building up in the mid lane. They're still here holding the Baron. Bradley up in the top lane, it does mean it's a lot harder for Team Liquid to try and do anything on the map.
Yeah, Harry Poggers sitting on 25 pages right here. I feel like that's appropriate.
Yep.
Given the length.
It's a very
of
long
the-
series.
Pages,
Yeah.
those are chapters.
Almost books at this point, right?
Oof.
With everything that she's doing. Anyway, but Harry is still looking so strong. He's completed his full build. He's got the Banshee's Veil. He's so hard to get on top of.
Importantly, though, it is a death cap for Insanity. That's a big spike. Because now JJ, he's caught. They have to
Try
fight
to turn
now.
away. They try to see if they can turn the fight. Gomsu
Look
is
at
on the other
Armeo.
side. That's the stolen
Oh,
Hostile
no.
takeover, creating a lot of space so they can take down Bradley. Neo, he's got
Oh,
the
no.
damage. He's got 4 items. He's a big old Draven at this point.
Harry
With
can't get
Armeo
in.
having to flash away, that's going to be the flash coming in from Velo, trying to get the handshake, but could not connect it.
They can
What
long
did they
chase Armeo.
If they only get Armeo, that's still not enough. They have to get him late in
Going
the
to the
fight.
gate. Going to the gate.
Oh, let's see. He tries to get away. The God
Oh.
of Duck interrupts that Keeper's verdict. Dodged by Insanity. He won't
He's
be able to
running.
get the kill just yet, but he is just chasing him.
He's
They're
dead.
going for the long haul in this one that you called out, Cubby. They are here to take down the general so he can no longer lead the troops to victory.
And there's no objective for them on the map, and there's 30 seconds left on TL's Baron. It's just
They give it
them
to Neo.
taking down Armeo as Harry.
No way!
Wrong monkey. It was Insanity. Harry still pulls off a miracle and keeps the game going.
Every goddamn time, man, Harry is there to turn around what looks like an impossible situation. We've seen some wild chases so far this game, but Team Liquid finding another way in. 10 kills coming through for Harry. And Armeo, he'll be back up for the upcoming Dragon. There will be a fight, and this could be the opportunity that Dignitas need. If they get this Hextech Soul, that puts them right back into the game. It gives them a fantastic opportunity to actually take game 2 off of Team Liquid.
Soul is a soul, Cubby.
And this is a damn strong soul. And
Yeah.
next step.
Soul's a soul.
Yeah.
Something Jack Sparrow. One
Yeah.
soul is not equal to another, but this one's worth 100 souls. Maybe not that many. I'd take.
No, that's Davy Jones.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway.
Yeah, what do you want?
Sorry, we
Jack
got a
Sparrow
lot of
doesn't say that.
pop culture references in
We've
this
got
one.
Jack Sparrow several times in this game. They could not catch Jack Sparrow, but with that, no.
No, but look at this. I love the setup from Team Liquid. Because they've been fighting in such large open corridors thus far, it allows Dignitas to back away really effectively. But if they go forward, if they take a much more closed corridor, a much more narrow one, it's so much more difficult for all these melee champions to come through, and it's an opportunity for Team Liquid to blow them apart. But Dignitas not letting it happen. They go directly mid.
Do they attack Yawn? Yawn could trade
I thought that was going to be the case.
a cleanse for Glacial Prison here if he wants to face
Oh,
tank
no,
it for
they're calling
Dignitas. They don't want to fight Harry. They realize that TL, their positioning is too damn good. They will trade out that dragon.
I think they're
Taking
going to
the
take out
turret
2 turrets here. That damage that came in from Dignitas burst that one pretty quickly.
This is a gambit, though. They could get collapsed upon. TL, they're not recalling. They're instead trying to chase Dignitas.
Oh, could be a little risky. They have the flank, but
Watch
do
Harry.
they understand? Harry looking for the charm. Did not connect onto Perry this time. Keeper's verdict. Will be able to punch that one or will it?
He's
Trying to
gonna
get
hold
in
it.
range, holds on to it instead. That's going to be the battle
Enemy base.
JJ.
Trying to get back inside of the base. Trying to make sure they can defend that inhibitor. The flash that had to come out just to be able to save his life. JJ is gone and out of there. The inhibitor will stand.
Could have had the enemy base gate, you know. Just walk north. Try and take that.
True. That would have been very funny. That was a bit of a play coming through. A lot of
If you had done
yacky
that, then I
stacks
could
coming
actually bring it back to Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, there we go.
But there you go. But that is still 2 turrets being traded for the Hextech Dragon. And crucially, that just means that Dignitas, they present threat to actually end the game now. If they get a team fight win with no inhibitor in the mid lane, you just go right up the middle. You have an opportunity to win.
Also, 2 players, nearly full build. One is in Harry, if you count the Magi.
You do.
You
We
do.
count it.
And I
Yeah.
do. But then only boots on Neo, but that's essentially a gimme. He's got all the items you really need.
I'd bet you Harry's sitting on like 3K gold right now. He's been sitting on that completed book for a
wrong.
long time. Oh, okay, that's way off. Never mind.
Ah!
950 it is. But I will say on the side of TL, they have control now over the map. They have been able to reclaim what was taken from them early from Dignitas. We are really praising Harry, and rightfully so. He's been fantastic this game. But Neo, he has 4 melee beefcakes in front of him on a full build Draven. Only missing boots, sticking with the stocks. We'll see if Neo is able to do something in this game. Both teams posturing over Baron.
He'll hold it.
Holds on
Yep.
to it. 10-second cooldown now. as they try to posture, maybe even try to bait in Dignitas towards this bush, but they spot him out with the blue trinket. No one there, just trading a little bit of damage
This is
back and
dangerous.
forth. It is very dangerous for both teams, as Bradley is looking for that flank, but the control is in the hands of Team Liquid Honda.
Dig can go mid.
I think importantly for Bradley, too, he picked up a stopwatch this fight. We have seen Dig try and focus down Bradley.
Oh, uh-oh.
Rock
Spirit Rush
Monkey.
stolen away. That crit out of Neo.
That's
Oh, no,
an
that
ult.
was parried. That was
That's
just
an
a
ult.
staggering blow.
That's an ult, too. Harry, no Spirit Rush. That means that TL will likely have to cede control over the river.
Oh, they
They
go.
go in. Curse of the Sad Mummy gets the front line. Harry is completely out of the fight, but they got the kill onto the Mummy. Parry now the target, and he taken. Double kill for Bradley, trying to step up for the team, looking to chase down Insanity for a third kill, and he's got it. He's got the damage. He's got the flash away as he flashed it in,
Oh,
but the
no.
flash cone saves the life of
TP.
Insanity, or does it? Is this going to be your escape again, Insanity? Oh no! Didn't get over the wall, so you use Lobscott duck instead, and it will be an unofficial triple kill for Bradley.
And that fight for TL, the big key, was Armeo on the Poppy. They were trying to engage follow-up on JJ. He stopped Perry's Wukong, and Neo was never able to step up and auto-attack as TL take the fight, and they'll take the Baron.
We see John Armeo creating so much space in so many games for Team Liquid. He did it yesterday on his first
Watch
regular
the
season
Poppy.
game. But now, again, Armeo creating space. There's no way for Insanity to get through. Gamsu can't get to the back line. And Jan flashing to a position of safety. There's no way for Dignitas to do anything. Neo can't hit.
Yeah, and Armeo, I mean, he knocks Gamsu away. Neo doesn't have a tank to stand behind. Armeo, even on an early game champion, steps up later, making plays for his team as the general. You cannot get past him when he's on the front line.
Now,
Tank's a tank.
A tank's a tank, that's a new one.
a tank's a tank. There you go. But again, as the Baron ends up going down, Team Liquid firmly in control. But we've seen Dignitas, they've been firing back. It's a 5,000 gold lead, but they are one dragon away from Seoul. And Team Liquid, they got most of the structures outside the base in the last push. Now they have to try and actually take an inhibitor.
Harry, curiously enough, actually sold the Banshee's Veil to one-shot a death cap, so even more magic damage now in the pockets of Ahri. We'll see if Harry decides to pull the trigger.
Probably doesn't have a 3K in his inventory now, does he?
No, spent it all.
All right. Yeah, it's a cheap shot there.
But here we
You know
go.
I had to.
Team Liquid.
Oh, I know.
They're moving up as a group. They got to take an inhibitor turret. They know they got to do it, and the inhibitor can't buy them some space.
Dodged away by
not.
Insanity, but it gets rid of some of the minions, so they can start chipping away at this inhibitor. So on a way, Poppy ult does not connect, knocks only away the cannon.
At this point, again, I think it's all about Neo. Is Neo able to auto-attack? He is the damage dealer for Dignitas. Neo has to be able to step up and utilize those axes in these fights, or else it is doomed.
Yeah.
We will see if TL can attack Dignitas,
One.
prevent Neo from being able to step up the way they were able to do last time.
I love the fact that Bradley as well. We thought this Aatrox would be the savior coming in for Team Liquid, but they're relatively quiet on it this far, making sure that Perry can't find his way into the fight. And Ayla sticking around. He's all alone.
Oh. Do they spot him, though? They don't have control of the vision at all, and now that the dragon's been taken, they know they're all there, so they can't even look to hunt down any stragglers.
Team Liquid looking for Gamsu.
Oh, they got the charm onto him. Look for the heroic charge, but he goes golden. Try to dodge away. Keeper's verdict. Punts away. Insanity. Know that it was Neo, and they got the kill onto Gamsu.
Perry's in the mid lane. He cuts one wave, and so Team Liquid instantly go bottom. That's a lot of tools being used by both sides.
It's going to be an inhibitor falling. We'll see if they can stick around for the mid inhibitor, but they don't have a wave at the moment. Gamsu, the death timer is 40 seconds. This is a Baron-empowered wave. We'll see how hard TL pushes for this, but I think it's just going to be inhibit and then walk away from there.
Base race. Base race. Base race.
You got to have inhibitors
base
down
race.
for that, Mad Magic.
Well, you can get one down.
You better split pushers for that too. There's not a lot of champions that do a ton of damage to structures, but we see another player find their way to full build. This time it's Jan completing another item. It's the Randuin's Omen trying to keep himself alive. He knows he's short range. He knows he just needs to survive. It's mostly Parry's damage in Neo that he's worried about, right? Parry has been trying to one-shot him over and over, and if he just stays alive, that's another win condition.
Yeah,
for
I mean, that's
Liquid.
the right call, right? Callista, the longer the fight goes, the more
Yeah.
rend stacks you get, the stronger you get.
The more like
that
a hedgehog they
call.
look like.
Yeah, as...
What kind of hedgehog you looking at?
Sonic.
I don't know. I feel like Gamsu would be more like Armadillo style, you know, on the board.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Team Liquid, they shift the play again from the bottom side towards the top side. Baron spawning before the Dragon, and Team Liquid setting up. Insanity needs to be careful as he loses his crown.
No, it's still up. Looks like they weren't able to fully get it off of him just yet. You
Oh,
lost
the Banshees
Veil.
first. Yeah.
Because he got both.
Two spell shields.
Yeah, 2 spell shields. Well, one's kind of a spell shield. One's more like a damage kind of thing. Anyways, looking at this, it's a bit of a dance around this inhibitor without the Baron to help out Team Liquid. They're not confident enough stepping up just yet.
If Dignitas want to go, they have to let TL hit this tower and then try to attack and get kills before Bradley shows up. But instead, Insanity, Keeper's Verdict on the wave. He is past that level 16, so the Silas ultimates, you can really just steal him, cycle him out really quickly.
Yep.
We'll be able to get that hijack back in time for the fight.
I also understand it. Just gets rid of the wave that was about to crash at the same time as mid lane. So now they don't have to worry
Yeah,
about
and you have your ult back. Grab
it back.
another. Easy.
Pick something else. He's been getting a lot of hostile takeovers, but this time he's been opting for the Spirit Rush. As we see, Armeo boots away 2 people. That might be a turret.
That could be, but that's going to be the Glacial Prison onto Armeo. But if they're focusing on Armeo, that's the tank. That's the one that does not take that much damage. They got a little bit of pushback, trying to see if they can keep Team Liquid from toppling any more structures.
Just ultimates traded at that point. Team Liquid still waiting for objectives to spawn.
Honestly, 1 minute away from the Baron. I expect TL to maybe keep Dignitas in the base. 1 or 2 more waves, but they have to reset soon. They want to shop, make sure that that reset is clean to contest this monster objective getting back in the map.
So, Dignitas again pushed towards the limits, right? They are looking for another opportunity. Jan a little bit far forward, and JJ and Perry, they have the go buttons.
Dignitas have 4 players that have played in the LCS. They're used to this kind of pressure. They're used to stepping up when they need to. Perry, the rookie, who's most improved from Scouting Grounds last year, the last ever Scouting Grounds that we had, and how he's been improving this entire time throughout the Proving Grounds, and he has to prove that he can take down one of his idols in Armeo.
Yeah, I think here in Proving Grounds as well, he's definitely my biggest surprise for players that I was not expecting to step up as much as he has. Even this game, he's had so much impact in early fights.
Boots sold by Neo. He's gone for the Guardian's Angel.
Ooh.
I don't know if that helps.
That's tough on Draven. You only have 1 Zeal item, so move speed will be low. You do have that W whenever you catch an axe, but
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing I worry about is how often is that going to matter? He is going to either kind of die and the team will get run over, or he won't. But now he can play a little bit farther forward. He can be more aggressive with his positioning.
Right now, Dignitas clearing out the wave mid. It will need to be answered bot lane, though. Someone's got to catch that wave as the super is pouring into the Nexus turrets.
But still slow, and now Team Liquid, this is where we're going to be looking for them to continue showcasing why they've been the most dominant team in the Academy scene for the past 2 years. They've missed 1 finals.
this is a great setup from TL. Just hitting the Baron, knowing they have to answer that bot wave. They're at least going to try and pull the TP, but Gamsu's sticking it. Okay, here we go.
Wait a minute, they've stuck around a long time. They got the Rend, but it could be stolen. No, it's not. It's secured by Armeo.
JJ.
Curse of the Sad Mummy. Can they get Yawn? But they can't. JJ was able to get the kill. He died in that whole fight. No, Ayla, he's alive. How is he alive? Barely. He holds on to Yawn, picks up more kills.
And another two-man's keeper verdict from Armeo. The bodyguard, again, gets Dignitas away from the fight, allows them to clean up. Hextech Soul be damned. TL wants the game now.
All of the damage gone from the Keeper's Verdict, and now Bradley needs to be careful. All the damage is still alive. If 2 players can do it,
but that
it's
TP.
Insanity and Neo, but it's 2 against 5.
Now, you'd have to pull off a big miracle here if you are Neo and Insanity, but missing that Keeper's Verdict means that the members of Team Liquid will continue to
10 seconds till
harass.
JJ.
Now that's 25 seconds until Perry. You still will have a man disadvantage here as Team Liquid continue to push. They're looking for this game 2. They want to take an early 2-0 lead as JJ, he's respawned, he goes in, but it should be, no! Respawn! But doesn't matter, it does not at all! Team Liquid Honda still ripping apart Dignitas, taking them down and putting them at match point.
And guess what, Alex? That's the game that Team Liquid have dropped every single time. They have dropped almost all of their game 2s in all their series. The curse is broken. Team Liquid have now won 2 games in a row on the red side.
Impressive. Impressive, and I do want to call out, maybe I'll do it later, a little surprise tool I have for later. But looking at this game, it was a knife's edge. It was back and forth between the two teams, where we expected early aggression. We got that this game. The game really went the distance and went all the way.
I mean, if I'm Dignitas, I can still take a lot of positives away from that game. They were making plays. They were not afraid. They had a comp where you have Draven. You have to get him ahead early in Snowball. Dignitas were doing things to get them in position, to have winning angles, to have winning fights. I think the big difference maker in the end, it was Harry on this Ahri. There were so many times where Dig, very close to securing an extra dragon, Harry steals it. Dig, have a member extra at a fight. Guess what? Harry's able to turn it around, picks up all 3 kills. I feel like those were the really 2 of the most pivotal moments that we had, not to mention Perry getting caught at the Wolves that led to another Baron for TL. Yeah. Harry stepping up at the right time. I know that last final, he felt like he wasn't the big contributor to how TLA were able to take that one against 100 Thieves Academy. Well, goddamn, if it wasn't for Harry, it would be 1-1 right now for Dignitas. Yeah.
Sure. And Harry, he puts them 1 game away. We've seen so many best of 5s and Proving Grounds and Academy go the distance. Team Liquid threatening to get the direct 3-0. This is a huge opportunity for Team Liquid to cement themselves as saying the first time these guys played against each other, that was a fluke. We're going to come back and be even stronger than you saw us before.
And it also would mean if they were able to win 1 more game, that's all that separates them from back-to-back champion titles.
We haven't seen that since Cloud9.
We've never seen, well, in Proving Grounds, we've never
Not in Proving Grounds, true.
In Academy, we have seen it, but in Proving Grounds, we have yet to see that ever happen. And so, we'll see if that's going to be the case or if Dignitas can mount the comeback, get a reverse sweep going. We'll see you after the break.